NASA tries its hands at reinventing the wheel. NASA has developed a new kind of airless mesh tire that can wander through rough terrain and still manage to return to its original shape. Why did it do it, you ask? Well, NASA's 1-ton, Mars Curiosity robot had faced huge problems when small rocks started ripping large holes in its tires, and this just after a year of cautious driving at less than 1 kmph. NASA engineers therefore went back to the drawing board to, well, reinvent the wheel. The design is rooted at NASA Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, Ohio. Engineer Colin Krieger and his colleagues built a wheel called a spring tire, which would provide grip on soft sand and also supported a lot of weight. That gripped soft sand well and supported a lot of weight, but the dents were the biggest snag, and that's when nickel titanium came into the picture. The molecules in this alloy do not adopt the new shape, but rather retains the wheel shape, and the mesh moves right back to its original form. NASA hasn't mentioned any cost, but we assume it's a monstrous amount and one that we'll probably never know. Now, we don't know yet if this tire will be part of NASA's mission to Mars in 2020, but we are sure there's a lot of testing it has to undergo, and we can't wait to know more about it. Tires with great memory. After years of research, the team settled on a nickel titanium (Nt) alloy and figured out the best process to form and treat it. Spring steel can only withstand 0.3% of strain, the distance the atoms in the metal shift, before it gets dented and the metal crystals permanently rearrange. The Nt alloy in question, however, can suffer up to 10% strain, about 30 times better elasticity. As a result, the new wheels boast some impressive stats. They can bear nearly 10 times the weight of Curiosity's wheels, function between -202 and 194 degrees Fahrenheit, -130 and 90 degrees Celsius, have better grip over rocks and sand, and can climb slopes about 23% steeper. We can actually deform this all the way down to the axle and have it return to shape, which we could never even contemplate in a conventional metal system, Padilla said of the new spring tire. Philip Abel, a mechanical systems expert at NASA Glenn, said the key to the tire's performance are the stretchy bonds of the crystal structure and shape memory alloys. With superelastic materials, what you're doing is storing the energy of deformation in their crystal structure. All of the atoms are more or less where they were, Abel told Business Insider about the crystal structure shifts. The alloy, at the temperatures we're seeing, is always in its return to my original shape mode. So after you deform it, it pops back to its original crystal structure. In the toughest test to date, the wheels asked 10 kilometers of driving, more than half the total mileage of Curiosity on Mars, on punishing simulated terrain. The rim was a little dinged up, but the spring mesh tire was like brand new, Krieger said, adding the caveat that the test did not occur at blistering Martian conditions. In theory, they should work, but NASA JPL is building a cryogenic test chamber to verify operation at cold temperatures, he said.